Okay, hey YouTube, it's Kaya back at it again with another YouTube video, and I'm here with one of y'all favorites, a story time. Okay, so today is a story time about the time I got caught sneaking out. And as like it is with literally all of my stories, I have to give y'all a little background before I really explain the meat of the story, the juice. So I'm gonna give y'all a little background or whatever. Okay, so we're just gonna get straight into the story. So if you're up to date with my other stories, y'all know who Diego is. Diego is a boy that I was literally obsessed with from the ages of who knows what to a long ass time. And we worked together, and yeah, he was my coworker. Literally, if y'all remember my first time story time, I told y'all I wanted to lose my V card to him, and I didn't because of some stuff that happened. I really had liked him, I really did. And when I lost my V card, I still wanted to mess with him. Like, that didn't change. Like, I still wanted to get my little doing, you know what I'm saying? I still wanted to. So, and apparently he wanted to mess with me. Apparently, I mean, he was a whore, so that doesn't mean shit. We had been talking about, like, you know, Lincoln. Mind you, this was like January, so like from November to December, me and him had gotten into it like a million times. Like, our bond was like we were friends, not friends, friends, not friends, whatever, because he was always freaking talking about me. Like, literally somebody was always coming up to me like, Diego said this about you, Diego said this about you, Diego called you. Like, y'all, he used to irk my nerves. So in January, like New Year time, we were cool, and we kept talking about, well, really it was him. He kept bringing up doing the do, and I was just like, I don't know. And in my mind was kind of like, I kind of still want to. So then I realized like I still wanted to, so I just felt like I had to. Like, I feel like it was like a bucket list type thing, like, you know, like I feel like it was like something that I just had to do, or I didn't live my life correctly, which sounds dumb, but I swear to you, at the time I was like, I have to do it. Like, I can't not do it or I'm gonna be mad at myself. So it was gonna happen. It was bound to happen. Ooh, I've gum, but it was bound to happen. So literally, y'all, oh my gosh, I had a journal. I kept a journal at the time. So I promise y'all, bro, I'm telling y'all the story very freaking accurately because I have proof. I have proof. Like, I don't want to show y'all too much, but basically, like, in my mind, I was contemplating whether or not I wanted to cut him off, because I was like, do I want better for myself, or do I want to be entertained? Like, what do I want to do? And I decided that I was just going to keep talking to him because fuck it. Because, like, I just couldn't cut him off. Like, I had issues. I could not cut him off. Yeah, he was just always, like, messing with me, like, flirting with me type stuff. Always touching me when he would walk by and blah, 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 blah. Now, one day, or really, it was like a weekend, my parents went out of town, okay? And I know what you're thinking, and no, it didn't happen like that. It didn't happen like that. So, my parents went out of town, and they refused to leave me and my little sisters home alone. So they asked my brothers if we could spend the weekend with them. So they took us to our brother's house, and we spent the weekend over there. So my brothers live probably like 10 minutes away from here. Not far at all. And back then, my coworkers used to take me home from work. Like, I lived within walking distance to my job, but at nighttime I was not trying to walk home because it was nighttime, and I was literally like 16 years old. They used to take me home, basically. And they used to take Diego home too, because he didn't drive. I don't care what he said. He had a car, he drove, he didn't drive. So they would take him home too. So me and him were just like talking or whatever, and we were talking about checks and stuff like that. And then we ended up talking about my mom, because, you know, she handled my finances and stuff like that. So he was trying to be funny and make a joke, acting like she was gonna take my money. And I'm like, she's not even here. Like, how's she gonna take my money? And he was like, where's she at? And I was like, her and my dad, like, are not here right now. They're out of wherever the fuck they were at. So he was like, where you at? Like, where are you staying at? And I was like, my brother's house. Like, we was just talking, and he told me, like, he knew where, like, that was at, and his uncle owned that, like, apartment complex and shit, blah blah blah. Now, another thing, oh, my camera's about to die, hold on. Okay, we switched the battery. This gum is distracting me, I'm sorry. Also, at this time, I forgot to mention, y'all, I was on punishment. So, like full-blown punishment, like lockdown punishment. Like, couldn't see no friends, couldn't hang out with no friends, no phone, which means no communication with the outside world, no social media, nothing. Punishment, okay? But me being me, I could not talk to my friends. Like, my best friend didn't even live near me, and I needed to talk to her. Like, she kept me sane. The school Chromebook, like, used to block everything. Google Hangouts was not blocked, so I would text all my friends on Google Hangouts, right? And that was just how I would communicate. So I never told. Camera keeps dying on me. Camera keeps freaking dying on me. Like I was saying before, my camera rudely interrupted me by dying. So yeah, I used to text all my friends off Google Hangouts, and I never told him about it because I just really didn't think that, like, he fucked with me enough to, like, download the app to talk to me. So I didn't tell him. So when we was like at work or whatever, the day I had told him like my parents like were out of state or wherever the fuck they was at, we was talking about like how I text people and stuff like that, and I'm like I still talk to my friends. And he was like, how? And I was like, through like Hangouts. And he was like, what is that? So I explained it to him, and he was like, so you weren't gonna tell me that you had a way to text people? And I was like, I didn't think you cared. So he gave me his phone to look it up in the app store. I downloaded it, and I'm not even gonna cap to y'all, I was teased. I was like, he downloaded the app for me. And yeah, so he downloaded it. I gave him like my email and shit, like the info he needed to text me, and then I was just that. So then, you know, it's time to go home or whatever. And like I said, my coworker, we're gonna name her Kat for the sake of the story. Kat was taking us home. She took me home first because people always used to take me home first because I was closer. So she dropped me off at my brother's house, and my brother's girlfriend had given me a key so that I didn't have to like knock and wait for somebody to let me in. And I went to the front door and I put the key in, and it was not opening. Like, I'm twisting it and all types of stuff, and it was not opening. So I was like, can one of y'all help me like unlock the door? She got out the card. I gave her the key. She was playing with the key, and then while I'm sitting there watching her like try to unlock the door, he calls me and he's like, come here. And I'm like, what? And he's like, come here. And I'm like, what? And he's like, come here. And I'm like, what? And since he didn't tell me why, I didn't come. And so then like she finally got the door open, and she went back to the car, and I'm like, thank you, Kat. And he was like my name is not my name. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he was like, you'll see. So I was like, okay. So then, you know, I walked into the house or whatever, my press ass opened the laptop immediately, and then I looked at, you know, my new message request that I sent myself from his phone, and it said Mike Hasslings. And I'm like, who the fuck is Mike Hasslings? Because mind y'all, his name isn't really Diego, but it's definitely not Mike. So I was just like, Mike, who the fuck is Mike? But I was like, who the fuck is Mike? I texted him and I'm like, who is Mike? And he was like, I don't need people to know who I am. I'm like, what? So we just texted or whatever, and I don't even want to lie to y'all about the messages, so I'm literally gonna read my journal and see what I said in the messages. Oh, and I forgot to tell y'all. So like before this, we had already talked about linking to do. So at this time I was in therapy or whatever, and instead of picking me up from therapy, my mom would make me walk home from therapy, because I don't even remember why, but she would not pick me up. She would make me walk home, and it was like an hour walk, right? So my plan was to, during the time I would be walking home from therapy, I could just be with Diego, you know what I'm saying? But Diego was being complicated, and he just, I don't even know, like he would act like he wanted to link and stuff like that, and then when I would ask him like how I'm supposed to get there and stuff, he would tell me to fly. He was just being childish, so it didn't happen. But literally I had a day and everything where I was like, okay, this Thursday, like, we can, and he acted like he was with it, but you know, whatever. Okay, so literally y'all, I'm gonna give y'all the real raw experience, and I'm gonna read y'all literally what I said. So it says February 2nd, 2019. Today is Saturday. I'm texting Diego right now on Hangouts. It's 2:24 a.m. and at 3:30 I'm gonna walk over there and we're gonna yeah. So, oh my gosh, I forgot about this. Okay, so literally I remember this. So this happened on Saturday, and then on Friday we was at work and we was like in the back, and he was being like so flirty these couple days. Like, I don't know what was in the air, but he was being really flirty, like literally, bro, because I'm just like a really touchy person. So I kept trying to hug him, right? So I kept trying to hug him, and he kept like dodging my hug. So then like I went in to hug him again, and then like instead of hugging me, he like tried to kiss me, but I didn't know what he was doing. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like he grabbed my face when he did it. So like I don't know what I thought he was doing. So like he like grabbed my face and like tried to kiss me, but I thought he was about to do something else. So I moved. So like he only kissed like my top lip type stuff. But I remember I wrote that down because I just thought that was like a significant like point or whatever. That's where I felt like, I'm like, okay, he really trying to, yeah. So then when we started texting or whatever, after like I got dropped off, he got dropped off or whatever, he basically was calling me a P word for not coming back to the car. He said that if I would have came back to the car that he was gonna kiss me, and I was like, why wouldn't you have just said that? And he was like, you should have just came back to the car. And I'm like, I don't, like, you should have just said that. And he was like, you want me to come back? And I was like, I mean, like, I guess you can. Okay, fuck, I cannot read. Okay, backtrack. So he asked me if I want him to come back, and I said like shit like, yeah, you can. And then we said some other stuff, and he was like, is your brother gonna let you leave the house? And I was like, my brother's asleep. And he was like, so you gonna come over here? And then he told me that his brother literally lived, well, not his brother, he told me that my brother literally lived a street over from him. Like, it was close as fuck. And I was like, wow, like, I didn't know it was that close. I was like I want to leave. And then I can't I can't read that part. But yeah, anyways, so we just was talking about me leaving, right? So yeah, after like we had established like the concept of me leaving, that's all I kept thinking about. So I got up, I walked around, I tried to open some windows, they were not opening. I tried to open the back door, it was loud as shit. So I'm just like, bro, how am I supposed to leave? Like, how am I supposed to get out of the crib? Yeah, it wasn't working. So then my brother's girlfriend had came downstairs and asked me like if Jasmine had came back, and I was like, no. And she was like, Jasmine may or may not come back tonight, whatever. I was like, okay, cool. So basically I had told myself, like in my head, I was like, if Jasmine didn't come back by 2 a.m. then I was just gonna leave, right? She ended up coming back before 2. So now I'm freaking out because I'm like, bruh, I don't want to tell her I'm leaving. I want her to hear the door open. What do I do? So she on the phone on her iPad just talking, and I'm thinking like, bro, what do I do? So then I was just like, fuck it. Like, I was actually so nervous. So I was like, Jasmine, like, do you care if I leave? And she was like, yes. And I'm like, well, I'm leaving anyways. So, and she's like, where are you going? And I'm like, mind your business. So she ended up falling asleep, and I literally just walked out the front door. Like, the front door was loud as fuck, but I just walked through the front door. So when I did leave, it was like 4 a.m. And then like we also had to wait because the police were sitting outside his house. I literally don't know why, but I had to wait longer to leave because the police were there. So once the police left and I went over there, we met halfway, walked to his house. The rest is none of y'all's motherfucking business, okay? But that was the first time I snuck out, okay? So I did not get caught that time. I literally came back in the crib probably at like 6 a.m. Went to church the next day, like nothing happened and nobody suspected anything. So I was like, I'm in the clear. Now then, this is where shit started to get like a little whatever. So the crazy thing about all this is, like, I always said I would never sneak out. I was always like, that's dumb. People who sneak out are dumb. It's not worth the consequences and all that shit, whatever. And I ended up being one of those bitches. Sneaking out of my brother's house is just not the same as sneaking out of my house. So like, I tried to convince my parents to let me spend another weekend over there so that I could just sneak out of there, but my mom was not going. I was on punishment, so she was not letting me do it. So I just was like, I don't know what was going through my mind, but I just said fuck it, and I was like, I'm just gonna sneak out of my house. So I'm like, I'm just gonna have to walk out the back door. So my whole escape plan used to be like, I would wait till everybody was asleep, and then I would grab shoes, I would put on some socks, go to the back door, walk outside with my socks on, close the door, not lock it or anything, and then just put my shoes on once I was outside, so it would be quiet. Like, I used to tiptoe the fuck out of the hallway, like tiptoe the fuck. So I remember the first night I went over there to his house from my house, I got lost. Like, I didn't have a phone, I didn't have a watch. I was actually really dumb, because why would I do that? His house is like farther from my house than it is to my brother's house. Like, my brother's house, that was literally like a 5-minute walk. From here, it's like a 30-40 minute walk, whatever. So yeah, a lot farther. So I literally got lost. I took the wrong streets, and I was walking around at freaking 1 o'clock in the morning, freaking out because I didn't know where I was at, and I was like, I'm gonna get kidnapped. Like, this is bad. I'm just like freaking out and shit. So I literally ended up turning around and just trying to come back the way I came. And then when I came back like the way that I came, I peeped a street that I recognized on the GPS. So I was like, I'm just gonna take the risk and go down this street. And luckily it was like the right street to go down. So then I got to his house. By the time I got to his house, he was asleep, and I was studying because I'm like, bro, I got lost, I could have died. And he's like, you're dumb. And I'm like, all right. So that was the first time I snuck out from my house. And then once I did it, I was like, I can do this. Like, I know how to do it now. I know the way to get there. I'm gonna be straight. So I literally was doing it regularly, and mind you, I was doing it on school nights. So it's like, I would come from his house and then come home, sleep for like an hour, and then get up and go to the bus. So yeah, I was being bold for no reason. And literally, I blame Diego as to why I got caught. Like, he's the reason I got caught. I would have never got caught if he wasn't fucking rushing me. So, you know, the more I did it, the more comfortable he got, right? And he started becoming impatient with me. Like, instead of, you know, the first time I went over at 4 a.m. and I would go over there really late because my parents were the type of people to stay up late. So it was like, I'll just go over there like later when they're like for sure asleep. And he started to get impatient, and he wasn't trying to wait for my parents to be fully asleep. He wanted me to come earlier. But there's a specific day where he was really pushing it, and he was like, are you coming over? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, you need to hurry up. blah blah blah. And I'm like, bruh, it's not that. I'm like, bro, it's not that simple. I can't just get up and walk at the front door. But he was literally rushing the shit out of me. Now, around this time, I was like a pro. I had snuck out so many times. I had a plan. I used to wear a watch with me so I would know what time it was and everything. So literally, I'm like looking to see like if my parents are awake or not. Literally this day, my dad was in the bathroom. Like, he had walked into the bathroom, and I told myself like, this is your chance, just go. Which is really bold because it's like I have to walk past the bathroom he's in to get to the back door before he gets back out the bathroom. So this is how I knew I was crazy, bro, because literally I got up, grabbed all my shit, walked to the back door, and just left. And I was so scared because I'm like, bro, there's no way I just did that. Like, there's no way I just did that. So then I got to his house, and when I got there, first of all, I think I ran there because I got there quick as fuck. He asked me like, did you run? I'm like, no. I would never admit that. Like, literally there's a couple times where I ran and he would literally be like, did you run? I'm like, no. And mind you, I used to have to sneak into his house. Like, he would open the bathroom, like the bathroom window, and then I would climb the bathroom window. Oh my gosh, this is like memories. They're like coming back. I used to climb through the bathroom window, hop on the toilet, get off, and then walk to his room. Not bad. This night was like cool, whatever. And then I'm just kind of like staring at his ceiling, like thinking like, this the day I'm gonna get caught. Like, I don't know why, I just felt it in my gut. I'm like, today is my last day doing this shit. Like, look at the room, soak it in, look at the ceiling, the cracks in the ceiling, and just know like this is your last time looking at them. And then this is what did it. He was like, yeah, you need to leave by the XYZ time. I don't know what time he said, but he basically made me leave like way earlier than I normally leave. So I probably got there at like 12, or I left the house around like 12ish, and he wanted me to leave around 2 something. And normally I don't ever leave that early. I normally leave at like 4 or like 3 or 5, like when my parents are for sure asleep. So he was telling me like I needed to leave, and I'm like, I can't just leave. I can't get back in the house at this time, it's too early. And he was like, me and, we're gonna call him Nate, one of my other coworkers, that was his close friend. He was like, me and Nate are going to the gym, so like you can't be here, blah blah, whatever. I'm just like, bro. So basically I'm like, okay, fine. So I got up and I left, and I'm walking back to my crib, and I'm just thinking like, you're about to get caught. Like, you're about to get caught. Come up with a lie, an excuse why the fuck you're outside at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, give him a reason. So I'm sitting there like, okay. Came up with a weak ass excuse. I said I was going for a walk or whatever. And yeah, so then I get to the back door, take my shoes off, twist the doorknob, open the doorknob, and my mama is walking up the stairs, and I like closed the door so quick. I closed it so quick. I'm like, oh my god. Heart dropped to my ass. Like, literally, because I'm like, bro, she saw me. I'm like, she saw me. I know she saw me. So I'm just like, okay. So I'm just sitting there literally holding the door, like heart pumping and stuff, and I'm like, she already saw me. I might as well just walk in there and accept my fate. It's crazy though, y'all. Like, I don't know how I knew I was gonna get caught today, but I felt it in my soul. So literally the fact that I did get caught is crazy. So I was just like, she already saw you, just go. So I opened the door and I walked in, and she just looked really confused. Like, she just looked up at me and was like, and then just went back to what the fuck she was doing, and walked to the bathroom. And then next thing I know, I see my dad's head walking up the stairs, and I'm like, fuck. So, you know, I'm acting kind of normal. Like, I just closed the door and started walking like towards my room, and he was like, did she just walk in? I'm like, so literally my dad is throwing a fit, like, did she just come from outside? Where was she at? Did she, like, just confused, like, what the fuck? Why is she walking in the house 3 o'clock in the morning? Why was she out the house? Anyway, like, just, you know, all types of shit. So I get my ass handed to me. I got in so much trouble. Literally, my dad wanted me to quit my job. Like, he literally was like, yeah, that job is over with, done with, because that was always like the thing that they would use against me, because they knew I liked my job. So anything, like, literally my punishments when I was a kid was so weird. Like, literally one time I had all my books taken from me because I like to read, so I wouldn't have been able to work because I like to work type shit. But my mom wasn't going for that. She just had my hours like cut. Like, they basically told me, like, or she basically told me, like, you can only work like 2 days a week. And I had to tell my manager that, which was so embarrassing, bro. It was so embarrassing. So yeah, I had my hours cut at work, and literally Diego did not give a fuck. He did not feel remorseful at all. He did not feel like it was his fault. It's like, yeah, it was my fault, but I don't care. He contributed to it. Like, no matter what he says, he contributed to it. He know he did, because didn't have to make me leave so early. Like, if I wouldn't have left that early, I wouldn't have got caught. And honestly, I would have never snuck out in the first place if he didn't put it in my head. But that's my fault for being impressionable, and he annoying for not caring that I got in trouble because of him. But whatever, that was just that. So yeah, it was the time I got caught sticking out. I was walking for some stupid shit. I used to walk to a boy at 3 o'clock in the morning, like literally almost every other day on a school night, because I was down bad. Don't ever be that down bad, y'all. Don't ever be that down bad. Learn from me, learn from my mistakes. But thank y'all for watching this video. Thank y'all for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, because y'all do not be fucking with the Instagram. Make sure you comment on this video. If you made it to the end, comment the purple heart emoji. Like, if you got to the end of this video, comment the purple heart emoji so I know who was really watching this shit for real. And then comment something else. Like, just comment fucking anything, because y'all be leaving my comments dry as fuck. So make sure you comment something. Run the story time up, because y'all know I go crazy with story times. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna just see y'all in the next video. Enough talking. Bye.